Hi everyone, I'm Steve D, the Wedding DJ Mentor, and welcome to today's video. So in this video, we are going to be talking about building our network and increasing our quality referrals. So we're going to find out ways of building our network within the wedding DJ industry and hopefully being a good colleague and recommending each other rather than seeing each other as competition. So that's when it really sort of kicks off. When you stop seeing similar standard or even better DJs than you as rivals and start seeing them as colleagues, that's when your network will really start to build exponentially. Make friends and allies in the industry rather than keeping people at arm's length, and that can really supercharge your business. So professional DJs, they network with each other. They uh, follow each other, they support each other. Insecure DJs tend to isolate and gatekeep and get a bit bitter. So many budget DJs especially operate on a what I would call sort of like a scarcity mindset, that there's not many gigs. They see people as their other competitors as something to fear, that gigs are scarce. Sometimes they even resent them. Over the years, I've heard DJs criticize other DJs to me. I never get involved in that sort of thing. And I've even seen them do it in public and public forums. So that's not the behavior of a premium business owner. That's comes from sort of a place of insecurity. So when you're secure in your business and you're a leading supplier in your area, you're not bothered about what's going on. You're just concentrating on yourself, and that's key here. You'll hear things from budget DJs like, "Oh, they're undercutting me. They're busier because they're working for peanuts. They're stealing my bookings." But here's the truth: no one's stealing your bookings. Nobody. The only one damaging yourself is you. They're just attracting a different type of client, and that's when you think like that, it kind of limits you quite a lot, really. It limits your sort of your overall confidence and what you think you're worth, because you're focusing too much on what other people are doing. I couldn't care less what the other DJs were doing. I was focused solely on me providing the best service that I could provide. What everyone else was doing was frankly none of my business. So high value DJs don't obsess over over their competitors. They refine their own offering. They strengthen their own network, and they elevate their position locally and to the wider area. And that's the difference. So a good analogy is: do you think Ferrari care less about what Kia are doing? No. I mean, they're both selling cars, but they're not chasing the same customers. And you've got to think of yourself as maybe not Ferrari, but you're seeing yourself as a high end business and a high end supplier. So you're not chasing the budget customers. There's always going to be budget customers. They're not your customers. Okay, that's fair enough. Plenty of people got in touch with me, and I gave them a price, and they couldn't afford it. But that's okay. It's you don't have to lower your budget to fit other people's budgets. Even if you're not working, it really does harm your business when you do that. So we're going to improve our network. That's what we're here to talk about today. So today, as a little bit of homework, what I would like you to do is go and do a bit of research online. You're probably already aware of a lot of the DJs, but just go and Google wedding DJ and the area that you work in, maybe the county or the city or the town or whatever. And go and have a look at the top 5 that appear on Google Maps, the top 5 best rated, and then have a look at the top 5 that appear in the non-sponsored results on Google, on page 1 of Google. So get rid of the sponsored results. They've paid to be there. They're kind of cheating. Have a look at the ones that naturally come top. Click on their website, have a look through everything, see what you think, because the person that comes top in that ranking is going to be your minimum standard. That's where we want to get you to. So whatever they're doing, that's going to be your minimum standard, and hopefully we're going to make improvements to just get a little leg up on that. So go and identify those 3 to 5 DJs that are a similar or better standard than you currently are. They're rated highly on Google, they're professional with good media, and they aren't racing to the bottom on price. So go and have a look at them, and see what you think. Ideally, go click through their website to their social media pages, have a look at what they're posting, have a look if they're active, and let's try and start building our network. So what I used to do is I would just message them on Facebook. I mean, Facebook's a bit dated now, but basically everybody's on there, and it's a really easy way to contact people, or Instagram, or whatever social media you choose. I would just drop them a DM. I'd say, "Hi there, I'm Steve." If I don't know them already, I'm getting a lot of inquiries for uh, dates that I'm booked on. I was wondering, would it be okay to pass those inquiries over to you as a fellow uh, highly rated professional? And that's it. There's no pressure there. There's no ego. There's no weirdness. You're complimentary, and you've not asked them for anything. All you're asking is, can I give you work? No one's gonna disagree to that. So they'll almost always agree. I don't think I've ever had anybody not agree to that. And if you do hold up your end of the bargain and you do send some people to them, really try and do that, but that mention to the client that you're booked for that, yeah, speak to whoever and tell them that I sent you. So when they do tell them that you sent you, it's that self-fulfilling loop, isn't it? It comes back around, and then they're going, "Oh, that was nice of him to send me this gig." He might not even be available himself, but you've done your job, and then they can recommend someone, and then they can pass on work. And more often than not, it'll be reciprocated. I couldn't wait to DJs that recommended me, which was a lot of them. I built a very good network of really great people, and I couldn't wait to send them back a client that I couldn't work for. So it also helps you when your clients do message you. Instead of just saying, "Sorry, no, I'm not available," and that's the end of it. Now you can say, "Sorry, I'm not available, but I can recommend Dan, or I can recommend Sean, or I can recommend Jenny." You can pass those and then send them with their social media, or send them with their Google link, or their web address or something like that. So that client can do their own research and they can choose whether they message them. And then hopefully those DJs will start doing it to you, and you'll start getting messages and phone calls from people going, "Oh, uh, Simon, give me your number," or "James, give me your number." And there we go. We're starting to get those referrals in now. And that keeps you positioned as a specialist. It shows your colleague that you're holding up your end of the bargain. And one referred booking could be worth 800 to 1200 quid. Get a few of them per year, you're really starting to add value there. And all it's cost you is a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. But be a good colleague. Add them as a friend, or follow them, follow their DJ profile. Whenever they post something, drop a like on it, maybe even comment, "Oh, night looks great," something like that. Be visible, and yeah, just be a good colleague. And it really pays dividends to do that. It's also worth being an active member in your local DJ groups. There's loads of DJ groups, almost for every area in the country, I would imagine, even national ones. I'm in a couple of national ones. I'm a very vocal member in a couple of national ones, and I'm a vocal member in my local one as well. So I used to post jobs in there. Is anybody available on this date? I've had an inquiry, and again, it just builds your giving to you're giving to your peers more than you take, and then again that just builds your credibility and puts you in that top tier. So the next thing we're going to talk about, so we've built our network, or we're going to start to work on building our network with our fellow suppliers who do the same job. The next powerful one, and I would say maybe even more powerful, is becoming a venue favorite. So how do we do this? This is huge. So we're going to take some time. Most DJs play a venue and just leave at the end of the night. Fair enough. Brilliant. They've done what they're paid to do. They've finished and they've left. Perfect. But we're aiming to be elite professionals here. So we need to be building relationships and increasing our network at the same time. Venue owners, wedding planners, managers, staff are crucial and invaluable allies to your business. And venues are the first thing to be booked when people are booking a wedding. So having them on side is massive because they're yet to book the DJ. So here's what we do. We need to, anytime we attend a venue, a wedding venue, especially one of the better ones, we need to aim to impress. We're going to arrive early. We're going to be organized. We're going to be calm. We're going to be professional. We're going to start on time. We're going to be polite to the staff. We're going to chat to them. We're going to maybe even learn some names. That's a huge bonus. I used to make notes in my phone for each venue. I would have a little note in my phone. I would describe. I'd have the wedding planner's name in there, any details that I'd found out about them, and then you can sort of call back. You know, if a member of staff or the wedding planner mentions that they're going on holiday in a couple of weeks and they're looking forward to it, it's like, oh, how was your holiday in Tenerife? How was that? I've not seen you since then. And again, it's just a little technique to build that bond. And if you can build those bonds, you're building that friendship, and that's when you start to get in their mind, front and center of their mind, when anybody asks them, oh, do you know any DJs? That's when you come in. So what else do we need to do when we're at the venues? We need to end on time. We're never ever going to be a minute late. We're professionals, respect the licensing laws. The venues can be fined for playing music after their license, and they will not thank you for running over, even by a minute or two. Because many DJs, because they don't want to finish, because the crowd doesn't want the DJ to finish, they play one more, 5 past, one more, yeah, they'll play another, they're playing to 10 past, quarter past. Now the venue owners are furious and they will never recommend you. We need to respect the sound limits that are in the venue. We've all seen them dreadful boxes up on the wall with the graphic equalizer on it, and if we hit the red, your power goes out. I've seen a lot of DJs try and usurp them, try and get round by plugging into different sockets, or I've even heard of guys sort of hanging a jumper over the sound limiter so they can turn their volume up. But the venue hasn't put that limiter in. The council has made them put that limiter in. The council may have even put it in themselves, and they have to stick to that sound limit because of the complaints from the neighbours. So if the phone starts ringing and they're getting complaints because you're playing too loud, then again, you're not getting recommended there. Another thing we can do is we're going to leave our work area clean. I used to use a lot of tape for sticking down my cables. I'd tape my cables to my stands to make everything look super tidy. And then at the end, I'd take it all off. I'd have a big ball, not a big ball, but I'd have a ball of tape. So I would make sure that goes in a bin. I would take my glasses back to the bar. I would thank the staff once I'd taken the glasses back to the bar, so they see me doing that. Again, just another little nudge that we like this guy. He's making our lives easier, because the word of the staff is pretty important. The staff are probably going to be at your gig from the start to finish. The wedding planner is probably going to leave at 9 p.m. once the wedding admin's done. But the staff are going to be there right to the end. They're going to see how you are at the end. So don't act like a diva on the day. DJs often have a bit of a reputation for being egotistical. Some are a bit difficult to work with. Some are not very flexible. It's a big turn off for venues, and they really need you to to fit in with their schedule. If they're turning a room round and they've got 1 hour to do it, like, you can access the room at 6 p.m. ready for a 7 p.m. start. You better be 6:01. You better be taking your gear in, and at 6:59 you better have your music on, because if you're rolling up 20 minutes after and they can't, because they'll have told their customer, their couple, that it's going to start at 7 o'clock, and if you're not ready at 7, kind of leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth of the venue, because they probably feel it's kind of their fault as well. So be on time, work really hard to fit in with the venue schedule, and get everything done. One last thing with the venues, another thing that we can do. It's not something I did a lot of, I'll be honest, but if you're starting out and you really want to get in with these high-end wedding venues, it's quite a lot of effort and it does cost you a bit of money, but attending their wedding fairs as a supplier gives you and buying a booth there. It gives you a huge boost because A, they love people that do that. Some wedding venues only recommend suppliers who attend their wedding venues. I know that for a fact. Plus, when you're there, it's a low pressure environment. Everyone's let their hair down. It's usually on a Sunday afternoon. The wedding planner will be there, the staff will be there, but everyone's a lot more relaxed. On wedding day, everyone's a bit uptight and everyone's in game mode. But you can spend a lot more time sort of building and nurturing those relationships with the planners and with the staff, with the managers, and you can really sort of build your network there. So I would, if I was starting again from scratch, I would attend some of the high end wedding venues as a supplier. I would pay the 50 quid, 70 quid, 100 quid, whatever it is, and go and stand there for a day with my stand, have a booth and a couple of lights set up, talk to the couples, but talk to the staff as well, talk to the venue owners and be complimentary. So on the day of the wedding, or even beforehand, introducing yourself to the wedding planner is crucial. Ideally, try and email them beforehand. Try and, well, the bride and groom will definitely have, or the couple will definitely have the wedding planner's email address. Ask them for that, and just find a reason to email the planner. Send your public liability insurance. Send your PAT test certificate. Uh, Whatever. Ask them where's the best place to set up or how far the power is away. Just find a reason, a good reason to email them. Tell them what date you come in, what couple you're working for, and then that builds that rapport and you've broken the ice then. So on the day, we're going to go and speak to the wedding venue owner. We're going to try and speak to the manager, be complimentary about anything you like about the venue, especially if there's been any changes made. You know, maybe they've refurbished the bar, maybe they've refurbed the toilets, or they've done something with the grounds. Mention it and say how much you like it, and you know, maybe even ask for some details. Have you got anything planned in the future? And just having those slightly deeper than just entry level, hi, are you okay conversations, you start to build those connections and you start to be remembered. Make sure you thank the staff at the end of the night, and make a point of saying goodbye when you leave. There's a couple of reasons for that. You're um, you're saying goodbye to the staff, but you're also telling them that you're finished, so they can lock up wherever you've left. And you start to build those bonds then, because you'll have interacted with the staff a little bit through the night. You'll have taken your glasses back to the bar, like I said, and said thank you. But yeah, be remembered for being easy to work with, being professional, being a great quality, and providing an excellent service. And it's going to be quite easy for, it's going to make it much easier for venues to recommend you. So venues and planners recommend DJs who don't cause any problems. They perform well and fill the dance floors consistently. They hit their times correctly. They are 100% reliable, never ever late, never cause any problems. That goes back to there. They communicate well. They make the lives easier of the staff and the planners by hitting the times, doing the announcements that they need, like announcing that the evening food's ready, or making sure that you've announced last orders when they've asked you to. Most of all, suppliers, they want suppliers who protect the venue's reputation. It's very difficult for venues to recommend any suppliers because if anything happens, it makes them look bad. So you really need to put steps in place to reassure them that you're the right person for the job, and you're probably going to need to do it multiple times as well. It's very easy for venues to not recommend anyone because the risk to them is zero then. But we need to prove to them that you're more than worthy of their recommendation and going above and beyond with the small ways that we've talked about is the easiest ways to do that. So another way and the most powerful way. So if you've made it this far, you've done well because this is the best bit of the video. And this is a key thing that I used to do, which really endeared me to venues. And let's get into this. So here's one of my top tips. Just if you just add this one thing to the things that you do, it can pay off massively. So the day after the event, while you're still fresh in the memory, go and leave a Google review and a Facebook recommendation as your business profile to the venue. Yeah. So you're going to go review the venue as a supplier. Only do this if you believe what you're writing. Making gushing recommendations about a wedding venue that is poorly run or it didn't really hit the mark or it was a bit of a dud night can hurt your brand. So don't do that. There is plenty of venues over the years, by the way, that I did not go and review afterwards because they weren't very good. The cake cutting didn't really work very well. All that sort of thing. If it wasn't well run, don't do this. But the high-end wedding venues are run like clockwork, and it's probably going to be good. So be sure to add some of the great photos you took. Stay tuned because in a couple of videos we're going to talk about the photos and how powerful they are. But make sure you've taken some good photos and post those photos. So this has two incredibly powerful benefits. Firstly, it flatters the venue and it flatters the staff. It boosts their SEO and their reputation for having suppliers talk about them positively. You've done them a favor off your own back, which you didn't have to do, which increases the likelihood that they will recommend your service. And here is the second benefit to it, and this is massive. Couples researching that venue will read all of those reviews. They will see you're local, you've worked there recently, you've got experience of that venue, you've had a great successful party there because you've posted some pictures of the party in full swing, looking brilliant. And if they're yet to book a venue, they definitely haven't booked the DJ yet. So that gets them thinking at the point of where they're about to book it, and they start looking for one, and here you are. You're local, your perceived value is great, your website is excellent because we've worked on that. You're well reviewed, you're a wedding specialist, and you've played that venue. And there's pictures here of the party looking great. So now it's not just a review, it's a free advert for you where people that reading them are about to book a DJ. They can click your name because you're using your business profiles. Crucial to use your business profiles, by the way. Have a business Facebook set up with your DJ name or your business, and use that to do your recommendations so they can click through to your business profile easily. Don't use a personal one, it's pointless. They can find your profile and website easily. They can see your brand and your reviews. This is one of the biggest ROI marketing tactics you will ever use. It costs absolutely nothing but a few minutes of your time, and it can generate thousands of pounds in revenue, and did generate me thousands of pounds in revenue because I know that people have seen those reviews because Google tells you how many people have read them. So do that. Be professional, be polite, turn up on time, do your job, work with the staff, make friends with DJs, add those reviews to the venues afterwards, and add reviews to any suppliers that you met on the day. Talking to other suppliers, talking to photographers and the florists and the venue dressers, maybe the photo booth guys there. Speak to all these people. Be a bit of a social butterfly and go around and just say hello, introduce yourself, and just be friendly. Increasing your network will increase your revenue. One of the easiest ways to do it. Costs nothing but a bit of time and a bit of conversation, and it will absolutely raise your business to the next level. So thanks guys, that's the end of this video. The next video we're going to be talking about boosting our visibility by optimizing our Google profile, search engine optimization or SEO, and that's how we're going to be pulling in members of the public for free. We're going to be boosting those things. So stay tuned for that video, which will be next. And if you've enjoyed this video or you've got any question, please do subscribe. We need people to subscribe to the channel. Do like. If you've got any questions or any comments, or there's anything you think I've missed, or you've got any questions in the wedding DJ industry, please drop them in the comments. I'll do my very best to reply to everybody. And like I've said on every video, if your topic is one that I feel like I've got a lot of knowledge on, if the question you pose I've got a lot of knowledge on, I may even do a full video about it. But I'm here to help. I'm here to raise the wedding DJ game. And I've been Steve D, the wedding DJ mentor. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.